Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen.
Hey, we are on location today in honor of Veterans Day, to honor past, present, and future veterans. And I couldn't think of a better place to be other than Volunteers of America, Michigan. I am with Aubrey McFarland. She is the CEO and president. And Aubrey, tell me where we're at right now.
We are at the Detroit Veterans Housing Program. So as an organization, we are one of the largest veteran service providers in the state outside of the VA. And this is really one of our hubs in Southeast Michigan where we provide significant services for veterans.
And you have so many wide-ranging services. So you're gonna break that down for me, and then we have a lot of other people we're going to be talking about and talking to rather. And this is so important because veterans who should really be honored and respected sometimes have the toughest time.
They do. And when folks come to us, when veterans come and decide it's time to ask for help, they're really asking for a hand up. They're asking for help to find permanency in housing. They're asking for help to find a job and just really restabilize in the community since they've returned.
And how many veterans do you think you've served?
Oh goodness, so we serve over 1,200 veterans a year. We've been doing this work with veterans for 128 years, so a lot.
A lot. A lot, and for a long time, and right here in southeastern Michigan.
Absolutely.
Okay, so where do we start first?
So probably the best place to start is with what we do physically in this building. So we do significant case management services, but we also have 40 beds for veterans who are homeless and need a place to stay. And we work with those 40 veterans for a significant period of time to ensure that they can get permanent housing in the community. We also do that work in finding permanent housing for veterans that don't live with us. So roughly 900 veterans a year come to us and they're housing insecure. They don't need a bed to stay in, but they might be couch surfing or stay in their cars and really struggling. And so we help them to find permanent housing. And our goal is to do that quickly. Our goal is to do that within 30 days if possible. Sometimes it takes longer because housing first is what matters, right? When you have a place to lay your head, then you can start to follow the rest of your dreams and goals. And so our goal is to do that quick turnaround. And once we help veterans find permanent housing based on what type of community they want to be in, whether or not they have children, all of the above, we find the perfect spot in collaboration with the veteran, we have a 96% success rate. So 96% of those veterans stay housed.
Wow, that is amazing, right?
Amazing.
That is a fantastic statistic. And you mentioned veterans with families, and there's nothing, that tugs at your heart more, right, than thinking that there's a family without permanent housing and couch surfing. And people don't understand sometimes that couch surfing is homelessness.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So how do you help the families?
So they come in and will generally say, I need a place to live. And we go through a full assessment with them to really figure out what type of community they're looking for. Do they have roots someplace in the area that they'd like to go ahead and find someplace to live?
Right, because if they're surrounded by support, that will make them all the more successful.
Absolutely. Anybody wants to be, if you've got family members, closer to your family members, or if they choose not to be, we will follow that direction as well. So the veteran and their family really chooses what type of community they're looking for. And then we have amazing case managers that have wonderful relationships with landlords who can go in and vouch for the veteran and say, look, they're partnered with us. We've got some initial funding to help them get access to housing. So if they've maybe struggled before or haven't been able to pay utilities in the past, we'll work through an entire system to make sure that they're ready to move into permanent housing and really sustain that placement over time.
Right, because you don't want to place them and then not help them sustain it like you just said.
Absolutely. And the most difficult thing, especially post-COVID, is when you get placed into a community, anybody, veteran or non-veteran, and then how do you define community? How do you meet your friends? Where's the closest grocery store?
Right.
So all of that has to be figured out in order for someone to feel really safe and secure in their new home.
Okay, so that is one of the many services that you guys offer. Tell me another one.
So another one is our suicide prevention program, and that is actually for active duty military and for veterans. And we have peer supports. So we have veterans who have actually experienced suicidality who work with us and work with folks, the veterans that come forward because they're worried about suicide. That is a great new program. It's a new federal program. It's been in existence for almost 3 years, and we provide that all across the bottom third of the state.
Okay, so let's talk about that. It's a hard topic, right?
Really
It's a very hard topic, but this is something that veterans struggle with for many, many different reasons. And for anyone out there watching who may say, oh, they just need to pick themselves up or whatever, you know? I mean, it's so much bigger than that.
It's so much bigger than that, and I think for those of us who haven't served, it's really difficult for us to understand. When you've not been in combat and you've not put your life on the line, it's difficult to be able to fully understand what the transition is like to come home and feel like maybe you're not home. You know, you had a brotherhood and a sisterhood out when you were serving, and then you come home, and what does that look like? And so that's why it's so important to have peers doing the work. Peers who have been in combat, peers who know what it's like to transition home, peers who know what it's like to feel depressed and feel suicidal, so that we can connect with them and say, it's not just you. You're not alone in this, and we've got folks who can surround you with love and care to help you break through whatever barriers you're feeling at the moment.
You said this program's been going on for 3 years? Okay, so in those 3 years, do you think the stigma has decreased at all?
I think it's decreased somewhat. We've done significant outreach into our communities, but we really need to do more around stigma. And we actually just got funding from the Michigan Health Endowment Fund. We are actually going to have a substance abuse therapist and a mental health therapist physically in this building.
In this one where we're at?
This one where we're at. It's going to be a brand new service program, because what we're trying to do is bridge the gap between access to care and the stigma. So we've got veterans that are here and they're living here, and if they're not living here, they're coming in for case management services regularly. So they'll build a rapport with the therapist who's on site, and hopefully we'll be able to decrease that stigma, convince them maybe dip your toe in the water if you're struggling with mental health issues or substance abuse challenges. It's not that scary. And then once we break down that stigma, we can refer them to other service providers in the community.
That is amazing. When does that start?
That started October 1st, just the build up of the program.
All right.
So we should have some therapists physically in the building by the beginning of next year.
Okay, that is amazing news, right?
It's so exciting and so needed.
So what else?
So within our program, we also have a healthcare navigator. So one thing that we found is extraordinarily important is absolutely we can help people find housing, but then what's next, right? So I have the pillow to lay my head on. How do I get access to healthcare? How do I get access to my benefits that are due to me because I was a veteran? And so we've got folks like that who can help folks navigate how to access their benefits and access appropriate healthcare for them and their families as well.
So would this all be considered wraparound services?
Absolutely. And what is beautiful about Volunteers of America Michigan is we do that really well. We might be paid to help find housing, but we are really looking at the whole person, right? We know that social determinants of health, where you live, the community that you're in, your access to food is absolutely essential.
And healthy food, right?
Healthy food. So we have a food insecurity program as well, funded by the Bob Woodruff Foundation and funded by the Call Sam Kitchen. And so we have a kitchen that operates and funds 3 meals a day, and veterans can actually come in that we're not serving as well to access that. So lunchtime, you'll see folks who are not served by Volunteers of America Michigan who can come in and access food, can get boxes of food to take with them if they need it. So what we do is when we find these gaps in needs, we determine that it's our responsibility to help fill those holes in service models. And so this, privately funded model for food and helping with food insecurity is really essential for the work that we do.
Well, it is amazing. And for veterans who may need help, how do they reach out?
Yeah, absolutely. They can just call us at Volunteers of America Michigan. They can go to voami.org and right there put in a question into info@voami.org, and we will follow up with them. Oftentimes we have veterans who just call the front desk. They'll get immediately connected to a case manager. Yep, it's unreal. I was speaking to a veteran who did that last week. And then we work to support them in helping them with whatever they need. And if we don't have the services here, we'll ensure that they're connected to somebody out in the community.
Okay, we're going to talk about something else real quick. Okay, we're going to talk about the thrift stores, because I am wearing in complete respect, right?
Absolutely.
But these are amazing, and these thrift stores that VOAMI runs. What is it? What happens with that?
Sure,
right? Tell me about
absolutely.
those.
So we run 6 thrift stores across the state, and they're beautiful. They're amazing stores, and what goes into thrift is just an entire different world.
Right.
The beauty of the thrift stores is every single dollar that is made comes back to fund veteran services and fund affordable housing. And so it's a brilliant social enterprise that was really created to ensure that we can do the work we do. The work that we do is underfunded by the government funding sources that we have, and so we need a way to be able to sustain it and that's what the thrift stores do for us.
Okay, so there's 6 of them.
There are 6.
Okay, I know about the one in Westland because I grew up in Wayne. I'm not ashamed to admit it.
Right.
So tell me where the other ones are.
So there are 2 in Lansing, 1 in Saginaw, 1 in Burton, and 1 in Corona, and then the 1 in Westland.
Okay, and you guys run some sales. I mean, it's pretty
We
cool,
do.
right?
Yeah, we have a half off Tuesday every month, and then you really never know what's going to happen. I showed up and we were having a Halloween party. Everything was 50% off.
Were you dressed up? Tell me.
I was not, but all of the staff were. I felt a little out of place. They dressed up with stuff from thrift. I mean, it just was a fantastic day.
That is amazing. Okay, so there's the thrift stores, there's the housing, there's the help with food. What are we missing? Are we missing anything?
We really covered all of the programs. It's
Okay.
really, bottom line, it's full wraparound services for veterans. So if you're a veteran and you have a need for some help, we are the place to call, and we will connect you with resources that are necessary.
Okay, so what about you have a veteran in your family who does not want to ask for help? Can somebody else reach out to you on behalf of them?
Yeah, absolutely. They can reach out. We can't do a lot because of privacy rules to get with that veteran, but certainly they can call and get more information about what we do.
And resources.
Absolutely,
right?
they can get some resources. And one program I didn't mention was a program that we connect with veterans to help them find jobs in the community. And so sometimes if someone's looking for a little bit of help, that's a little bit of a less threatening way to start than say we're going to help you find housing. Connect with Volunteers of America Michigan to go and search for a job, to help find your purpose, to help connect with someone that can help
To find your community.
to find your community. So sometimes that's a good entry point for veterans who are a bit resistant to accessing help.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'm super excited to be here. Thank you so much. And you know what? There are so many fantastic stories that come out of here. And more than the stories, it's all the help that you guys give. So thanks so much.
Thank you.
So I am in one of the classrooms here downtown Detroit at Volunteers of America, Michigan, and I am so lucky to be in the presence of some veterans that are served here, and I am with Kenneth. And Kenneth, where did you serve and for how long?
I served in the United States Marine Corps for 4 years.
Okay, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And then Dave?
I served in the United States Army. I was in the Army for 4 years as an infantryman.
And for you?
I served in the United States Navy, and I did it for 2 years.
Okay, and that is Sarah, by the
Yes.
way. And, you know, so I guess I want to ask you all how you came to be with Volunteers of America and how you are.
Yeah. Just came across, my wife and I separated, and I was hit by a car and I needed help, and so I decided to come down and check in here.
Okay, and you, all of that happened, and Volunteers of America, obviously, they have so many benefits and resources.
Yes, exactly. I came, for the resources to help me transition to a single living and finding a place to live.
Okay, and how are you doing?
They're doing fine. They are really helpful, really.
Well, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. And Dave, of course, tell me a little bit about your story.
What kind of story do you want to talk about?
So many stories. Okay, so you are a veteran, but
Yes.
you also work here, don't you?
Correct. My story is a little different, I guess, from these two. I began working here about 8 months ago. It's always been a passion of mine to help fellow veterans. I used to volunteer a lot of my time to help veterans, so to be able to be paid to do it is a complete blessing.
Thank you. And Sarah, what about you?
I actually was able to get in contact with Jeff. He works here, and he helped me with my housing in an apartment, my first apartment. That is, yeah. So it was really nice, and he furnished it for me. So that was really kind of him. Yeah.
Even nicer. How old are you? Do you mind me asking?
21. Yeah.
21 and have served 2 years, you said, in the Navy?
Yes.
Okay. And if you wanted somebody to know about serving in the military, what would you want them to know?
It's hard, but you can do it. You just gotta focus, I guess. Like, just put your mind to it. Yeah.
And you, with all the different stories, what would you say to somebody who's thinking about going in the military?
I would say do it. I always encourage everybody to join the military. I don't think there's any greater honor than to serve your country. Find something that you're passionate in, find something that you love to do, and I guarantee you the military will help you with it.
Okay, and for you, Kenneth, you've had a few struggles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you said that they're full of resources here. So what has helped you the most here at Volunteers of America, Michigan?
I was just thinking right now, just the housing aspect of it, and continue to use the services and resources that are available.
And as far as being in the military, is there anything that you would want people to know about being a veteran?
I think there's no greater honor to serve my country, and not to quote the Army per se, but do the best that you can.
And to do the best you can, and to serve your country, I mean, that is a great honor.
I consider it an honor. I love the Marine Corps, and I think there's nothing wrong with any person devoting themselves, to serve in service of their country.
So if any of you had something to say as far as the hard part of serving your country, what would that be for you, Sarah?
I think being away from family, that's the hardest part. That support system is not there as it would be if you was back at home.
And what about being a woman in the military?
Ooh. That has its challenges on its own, like from hair regulations to uniform regulations to, that's like a whole
That's a whole
separate-
thing.
Yeah, like we'll be here for hours just talking about that. But I must say is that the military has evolved, and they have started to actually accept women in a way, to where they're actually hearing us when we say women need this and we need that, and they're actually like, okay, we'll give you a little something. But keep asking, but we'll give you a little something.
Right.
Yeah.
So a little.
Yeah, just a little.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you regret having joined?
Oh, no, I think maybe when I was deployed and stuff like that, I think I would be like, dang, I regret this.
Mm-hmm.
But being back home, it's like, okay, that was a really nice experience, and I learned a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you learned a lot, and how about you? How about you, buddy? What?
I definitely learned a lot. Being in the military, like Sarah said, it's a difficult transition, especially when you join when you're young, fresh out of high school. It's a very difficult transition being away from your family. But like I said, there's no greater honor than serving your country, even though through deployments, through injuries and awards and everything that I've gone through, in a heartbeat, I'd go back and do it again, knowing the outcome that happened. I would definitely do it again. It's just a good feeling to put on that uniform and be a part of that brotherhood.
Do you miss that?
I do. I was in a combat unit. I was in a special unit. We did a lot of tough missions and things, just being deployed overseas, and sharing that brotherhood with the guys from all across the country, different backgrounds. It's a good feeling, and you develop that brotherhood, like I said, and you just know that you can depend on that person with your life. Even to this day, I can call one of them up and they'll still be there for me.
That is amazing. And Kenneth, how about you?
I would encourage anyone to join the Marines, or join the military itself. I have a son; he's officer in the Navy now. I love the Marine Corps, and I looked at it. There was nothing hard about, hey, piece of cake as far as I was concerned. I loved it. So.
Drop and give me 50. No, just kidding.
I used to be able to do that, but
Not
those
now,
days
right?
are long
Okay.
gone. Yeah.
All right. Well, I just appreciate you all sharing your story and your experience. And I think, Sarah, that we could probably do an entire show on women in the military, right?
Most
Just because
definitely.
it's a whole different aspect of it. And I think maybe that's a good idea. But on this Veterans Day and us, thank you so much for allowing us to spend time with you here at Volunteers of America, Michigan. And thank you, each and every one of you, for serving our country. We appreciate
You're
you.
welcome.
So we are at Volunteers of America, Michigan. We are in Detroit, and if you haven't noticed, we are in the Call Sam kitchen. I am with Mark Bernstein. And Mark, this has been a very important mission for you and your family.
It has been. We've had a long, amazing relationship with VOAMI, Volunteers of America, Michigan. And when the need arose, there was a kitchen here that needed some additional work, some more resources. And we stepped up. This was, 4 or 5 years ago, maybe longer. And so this kitchen that we're in right now serves 3 hot meals a day, 365 days a year, to homeless vets or vets just getting back on their feet. And it's a remarkable, remarkable operation here that we're so grateful to be a part of.
So why is this so important to you? We see you guys everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, this is making an impact.
This does make a significant impact on a large number of people. We work with veterans. We have veterans that are part of our firm. We have colleagues of mine who are married to veterans. We go back years and years and years with veterans in our community. And so we wanted to do something to serve those who've served us.
Mm-hmm.
And what better way to do this than to partner with an extraordinary organization doing really important work.
So it's funny, I was in the lobby when you walked in, and all the people here know you.
Oh, we are not strangers
No,
here.
you're
I mean,
not.
that's
I
a
can,
true-
and they know you. I
Yeah.
can tell they actually know you.
Oh, I come down here with a pretty high degree of frequency.
Okay.
Not as much as other people in my firm,
Mm-hmm.
but we're here and we show up, and it's just that's the kind of culture of our law firm. It's the culture of our engagement with our community. There are a lot of ways to engage in the important consequential issues facing our society.
Mm-hmm.
We choose to do it in a way that really makes a profound impact on each person's life. And there are people and veterans who have served our country, who have fallen on tough times, and we just feel like it's our job, our responsibility, if we have the resources, and we do, to give back and to participate in a meaningful way. It's not just write a check and show up every once in a while.
Right.
It's to be engaged and involved in a sustained, real, authentic way. And the fact that we have colleagues of mine at our firm who have served in the military, it makes it even more important to us. And so we're thrilled to be able to do it.
So when you walk in here in this kitchen, because you had said when we were walking in that it was, you had to clean out stuff, and it was,
Yeah,
now, all these years later, when you're sitting here, how proud
It's amazing.
are you?
Oh, it's super. Look, I don't want it to sound like we're
No.
running the place. And there are people who do this every day who
Right,
are
right.
here with us.
Yes, for sure.
But I will tell you that it's an amazing feeling to see how this place has blossomed. The food is amazing.
I
The
tell you, when
camaraderie
we
is
walked
great.
in, it
Yeah.
smells so good.
It's
I don't know what
spectacular.
was for lunch, but wow.
Yeah. And people work hard here. And in some respects, the kitchen is both a place for vets to come and get a hot meal, enjoy camaraderie with friends or who are struggling in some instances through the same circumstance that they're dealing with.
Right.
It's also an opportunity for VOAMI to engage with a population, a community that needs help. And so there's one thing to say, you need to come in here and we're going to talk to you about this issue or that problem or something that you're changing in life. It's a whole different story to do it while you're breaking bread with somebody.
Right.
Whether it be talking about disability benefits or addiction or employment opportunities or occupational therapy, all the things that go into helping someone get back on their feet after they've maybe hit some bad luck in their life.
Mm-hmm.
They're struggling. This is kind of an excuse in a
Right,
way
right.
to get to connect in a meaningful way with people who need just a little bit of help.
It's like lunch and resources.
It
right?
is, exactly. That's exactly right.
So you guys, you have this kitchen, but then you've also helped them with their fundraising sometimes, right?
We have, so
Yes,
we're
so
really
that-
excited about
yes.
this. We do something called the Call Sam Chopper Shop.
Right.
And we now have been doing that. I think this is our 4th year. This year we're doing it. We partner with VOAMI and our friend Darren McCarty, who a 4-time Stanley Cup champion. I'm surprised that, Darren was here. Maybe he would destroy this table or
Right.
something. He's a part-time amateur wrestler and also won 4 Stanley Cups. But he's a dear friend and someone who also knows what it's like to struggle and get back on your feet and what it's like to overcome profound challenges in life. And so with Darren, with VOAMI, and with these guys at Bad Pig Custom, these amazing, the shop in Hazel Park, there's really a hub of remarkable workmanship and artistry. We take a motorcycle from a trashed bike, typically, and we build it into something beautiful. And we follow that on this show called Call Sam Chopper Show. And there's, 7, 8, 9 episodes. Each one is viewed, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of times. It's really remarkable. This year is our 4th season, and we're partnering with the Detroit Lions.
Yes.
We're the official, I don't know, we're the official law firm or official something with the Detroit Lions. We have a great relationship with the Lions and the team, and Coach Campbell and Alex Anceloni. All these guys have been partners with us and shown up on the show. And we built a Lions themed
It's
bike.
beautiful.
It's spectacular.
It is
it's
amazing.
super cool. And while we're doing the show, we're selling raffle tickets to get a chance to win the bike. And so you follow the bike, the construction of this bike, from literally start to finish. We sell raffle tickets along the way, and then one person wins the bike. And all of the proceeds, 100% of the money that we raise from these raffle tickets goes to help VOAMI and their mission, including a little bit goes to, I would assume some of it goes to this kitchen. But
Right.
this year we broke $40,000. I don't know, over the last 4 years we probably raised, I don't know, 120, 150, a lot of money, $150,000.
Right.
That is money that our community has, in a very organic way, given to this effort.
Right.
And it's really a remarkable statement. People talk a lot about how generous this Detroit is and how generous Michigan is, the state and the people in the state. That is a great example of people from all walks of life supporting veterans. I mean, many of the people that I talked to, they could care less if they won the
If
bike.
they won, right?
That doesn't
It's
really
like,
matter.
I don't know how to drive a motorcycle.
Yeah, exactly.
What
It's
am
really
I doing with this?
True,
Right?
exactly. But they want to support this mission.
And it's a very important mission, and I'm so thankful that you came down to join us today because
I'm thrilled to be here. Really.
honoring our veterans with Volunteers of America Michigan. It's just an amazing mission. You guys are an amazing firm, and
Thank you.
My family loves you, and incredibly. Okay,
I
Daisy, I just
understand
gave you a shout out.
there's some domestic
There's some divide.
strife involving. I get it.
It's like Michigan and Michigan
Like any
State.
other family. Exactly.
Exactly. So we won't say the other party, but
Right.
yeah. So
That's
it's very funny. So it's a pleasure to meet you finally in person.
It's wonderful to
and
be here.
amazing what you guys do. And so thank you so much. And I'm sure that as it gets colder and more veterans need help, and they walk in to get a meal that sustains not just their hunger, but also the community.
Absolutely.
Right, and that's so important.
When it gets colder, this kitchen gets busier
for sure.
for obvious reasons, and the ability to help. And there's one of the most basic human needs is feeding somebody, and so it's in many respects it's like the most basic way you can help somebody. And here, not only are you honoring that basic need of warmth and addressing hunger, you're also helping people get their lives back together again. People who have given this country and our society more than many of us have ever given it.
Yep. And thank you so much. And what a pleasure. And hey,
Cheers, right?
Having coffee with Mark Bernstein.
There
Who
you
knew?
go.
So we are here at Volunteers of America Michigan to celebrate and honor those who have served in our military, all of our veterans. And I'm with David Rojas, who not only is a veteran, but is also works here at Volunteers of America Michigan. So tell me what your job is.
My job here at Volunteers of America, I'm a SSVF service coordinator. My job is to help house homeless and at risk of becoming homeless veterans.
Okay, so homeless veterans and at risk of becoming homeless. Can you kind of define both of those for me?
Sure. So homeless veterans are people that are homeless. They're veterans. They could be in a shelter or living in the streets, and our job is to help find them adequate housing. The other type of veteran that we help, that we serve, are the at risk of becoming homeless veterans. We call that homeless prevention. And the same thing with those. Those are veterans who are at risk of becoming literal homeless, and we will help find them housing, or if they have fallen behind on their rent for some reason, we will help get them caught back up and get them stabilized in their housing.
And houses are just so much more than a roof, right? I mean, it's all encompassing, and it is wraparound services that you guys do. And can you talk a little bit about how a veteran who may need help, is it easy for them to ask for help, or is it hard?
A lot of times it's hard. Being a veteran myself, I know how difficult it is to ask for help. We think we can do it all on our own. Most of the time we can't. So it can be difficult for veterans to get that first push into the door and to get them the help that they need. But what we do is we try to develop a rapport with them. Like I said, being a veteran myself, I kind of have a leg up in that position. So, you know, we try to encompass everything into finding them adequate shelter, not only just the actual roof over their head, but the services and needs that they might need underneath that roof as well. Furniture, a brand new bed, all the household goods that one person might need. We help them with all of those.
And do you think, because you are a veteran and when you're speaking to another veteran here that comes in for help, do you think that, I mean, you did say it gives you a leg up, but I mean, there is that camaraderie, right?
Absolutely. Being an Army guy, I love working with other Army guys.
Okay, we had a Marine here earlier, don't you know?
I won't. Yeah, it's okay. But, you know, we, as a veteran, you know, an Army guy, I was in combat arms as well. So that group, being in a combat arms, it's kind of like being in a group within a group. We experience a lot of things that the average soldier in the military sometimes doesn't get to experience. So when you let them know, you know, I served in the infantry too. I was overseas as well. I did combat as well. I know exactly what you're going through, and you're not alone. And that does definitely help them open up. And you can see that immediate change in their demeanor when I let them know that I myself am a veteran as well. You can kind of see them let their guard down a little bit,
like take a breath
take a breath and open up a little bit more. And it's a pretty cool sight to see.
And how about for you to be here now working and a veteran yourself? How is it for you personally at Volunteers of Michigan?
It's awesome. You know, I love helping veterans. I would do it for free.
Don't tell them that.
I won't tell them that.
I think you're good.
I would do it for free if I could. You know, I volunteer a lot of time helping veterans as well in my free time. So, you know, to be able to get paid to do something like this, right. It's a great feeling. I love helping veterans. If I see a veteran on the street and, you know, I go up and I talk to them and I introduce myself to them and try to see if there's anything that Volunteers of America could do for them.
That is amazing, because they may not need that help, but they may not know that help is available.
And it's not just, you know, helping in the terms of getting them housed or things like that. There could be different things that a veteran might need help with that they don't know the resources for, that, you know, a person in my position can help them with.
Okay, well, thank you so much. You are such a joy to talk to. Thank you. And you did not upstage me, so okay.
I'm glad. I was nervous for that.
No, seriously. It's a pleasure to meet you. And again, thank you for your service.
Thank you so much for having me.
So it is Veterans Day, and we have been spending our time with Volunteers of America, Michigan, and I'm with David Mann. David, tell me your title.
I am the Vice President of Development and Communications.
Okay, so originally, this is kind of exciting, because originally we were going to be speaking about this amazing gala you guys have coming up.
Indeed. It's called Holidays of Hope. It's this Saturday, and we were going to talk a little bit about the event. We were going to get people excited about it, because frankly, we wanted to sell some tickets, because it's a fundraiser to help all these wonderful programs and services we have, but I'm happy to announce we're sold out.
High five, man.
How about that?
That is awesome. So we are using, I don't like this term, but I'm going to use it. We are pivoting. Okay, we're going to pivot our message. And of course, you have so many great programs here, but also the holidays are coming up, and there are a lot of families out there in need.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, frankly, a lot of families have to pivot, you know, and I do think that, you know, with all the case management services that we offer, we as an organization are pretty good at pivoting too, and we offer Adopt a Family as one of those pivots. It's a fantastic program. Adopt a Family, I probably don't need to explain it. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Do it anyway.
Basically, we have a lot of families in need.
How
that
many
don't,
do you have?
Well, at the moment, we have more than 2,000 applications from local families who are in need of Christmas, basically.
Okay.
We only have about 150, maybe 200 or so of families that have adopted those families. So we are in dire need of more folks in the community to support the families that are in need of a Christmas.
Okay, so what does that look like as far as adopting a family? What do you need to do, and how do you do it?
The easiest thing to do, frankly, is go to our Volunteers of America Michigan website at voami.org. The first thing you'll see on the website is our information about Adopt a Family. There you can click on the link. It'll direct you over to another service that has all of our families listed there. You can kind of read their stories, get to know them a little bit, understand what they've been going through, and essentially find out where they live, because we want to make sure that you're in close
Do
proximity
you
to them.
actually meet that family?
Yeah, you do. So you'll select a family. Once selected, you'll get called by us, and we'll align you with some contact information, and then the family and the sponsor can get together and exchange those Christmas gifts.
Oh, well, that's kind of cool, because I was imagining you just kind of like drop it off at a unsecure location. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
But this develops a relationship.
it does, and I'll admit there's different programs out there. We've even ran the program that way, where folks are bringing gifts and dropping them off,
Right.
and then later the family comes and picks those gifts up. But what we found is people really like that personal connection. I mean,
Yeah.
we like to know that the line we draw between our effort and the impact it has is as short as possible. And so I think by aligning these families, allowing them to meet, everybody has a great time. And again, a lot of families enjoy a happy holiday season.
Okay, so what are some of the items? Are these all Christmas items, or does it vary from?
It does. It varies. I mean, just like you'd expect, it varies family to family, person to person. We ask for, where are they living? We ask for how many children they have, the genders of those children,
And the ages
age
probably,
of those
right?
of those children. We kind of ask for a list. We also ask them to put a little bit of a story together too. So oftentimes you'll find sponsors, the families that are doing the adopting, will read those stories. They'll kind of get to know the kids. Oftentimes they'll pick a family that kind of mirrors their own.
Right,
So
resonates.
I have 3 kids. I'll look for a family that has
Right.
3 kids, something like that. Also helps me buy gifts a little bit better.
course,
I know what a
right.
9-year-old girl wants, so I can find a family that also has a 9-year-old
Right.
girl.
Okay, so then, so the application process is open.
Yes, it is for sponsors. Yeah,
For
we actually had to
sponsors.
close the community applications. We got inundated almost immediately. Again, more than 2,000 families reached out wanting support around the holidays. So we actually had to shut that down because I'm not expecting that we're going to get that many folks to adopt those families, but I'm hopeful that we can be proven wrong.
Okay, so all right, so you can find that application online.
Yeah, you go to our website, which again is Volunteers of America Michigan's website. So it's voami.org. The first thing you'll see on the page is Adopt a Family. But if you can't find it, there's all kinds of ways to navigate to it. But when you get on that Adopt a Family page, it walks you step by step through how to adopt, how to look at families, what happens after that, how you'll be contacted, all those good things.
So kind of, what are the expectations?
We like people to spend at least about $100 or so. We don't want folks to adopt a family and then essentially give them very little to nothing. We want
Right,
this to
for
be a
sure.
fantastic Christmas. So we have some minimums in there
Okay.
that we want folks to kind of commit to when they go through that adoption process.
Mm-hmm.
We also want them to be kind of personable, be intentional about it. Don't find generic things. Let's really try
Don't
to
buy,
put some
yeah.
effort into it. Yeah, let's
Sure.
get to know who these families are, get to know who those kids want, and deliver a really happy holiday for them.
So what about, I know for me, obviously coffee is a big deal,
Yes.
right? But what about meals? Because, the holidays, if you're struggling with gifts and everything, you may not have that nice meal.
Yes.
Can families provide that too?
They certainly can. Yeah, we have a lot of families that will also buy a gift card for a grocery store or something similar, so the family itself can go out and buy, a Christmas
It needs to be a
meal.
whole thing,
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
It for sure does.
And one of the cool things that we do is we have what I call our Volunteers of America Michigan family. We have 11 different communities that our residents are living in. We have folks here in downtown Detroit that are living here as well too. So we also want those folks to get adopted. It doesn't always happen. So what we end up doing is putting together like a Christmas basket that has, towels and hygiene products, also has some gift cards for the grocery store. Want to help everybody get involved in the holiday season and have a good time of year.
Well, and you don't want anyone left out. So
No.
the fact that there's 2,000, I'm like, how can we help with this?
You're helping right now. I mean, it's
Like-
really as simple as getting the word out. I mean, I do really think that people actively are looking for things like this. They want to bring holiday cheer, right? I mean, that's what
Right.
the season's all about. So
Exactly.
if any of your viewers are looking for a place to go, Volunteers of America Michigan truly does run a fantastic Adopt a Family program, and hopefully we'll be able to serve more than 2,000 people this year.
Okay, well, I'm telling you right now, we're adopting a family.
Hey,
the
that
show
works,
is
all
adopting
right.
a family. Okay, so we're going to
Sounds
do
good.
that and take part of this because it's so important. And I've got 12-year-old twins, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
know how what they, it's like, oh my gosh, really? Do you
Yep.
want that? Do you need that? What,
I'd be
what do
willing
we-
to bet
yeah.
there's somebody
Right.
that needs adoption that has 12-year-old twins.
All right, well, you know what? We are going to find that out. So again, give me the website.
www.voami.org, stands for Volunteers of America, Michigan.
Okay, and if somebody just wanted to make a monetary donation,
You can do it on that website as well too.
Okay.
There's a button in the top right corner that says click to donate.
okay, perfect. All right, we're doing it. We're
All
going
right.
to provide a happy holiday season.
That
All right?
works.
High five.
All right,
Thanks
thank you so much.
Drew Lang has been a Scout for 7 years and has been working hard toward becoming an Eagle Scout, which involves an Eagle Scout project. But that is no small feat. Eagle Scout projects must be evaluated primarily on impact, which means the extent of benefit to the religious institution, school, or community, and also on the leadership provided by the candidate. And there must also be evidence of planning and development. And Drew says that he's been working on this project for 3 months, coordinating cleaning up the graves of fallen veterans at Cadillac Memorial Gardens East, which he's been doing all day long, and says he's doing it because it's a way to give back to all of those who have given us so much.
They do so much for us, all of our veterans and all of our active duty Army and military members. So this is my way to say thank you to them for all that they've done, all these people that sacrificed their lives for us. So I just thank you.
And if you had something to say to someone who is thinking about joining Scouts, BSA, what would you say to them?
Do it. It's an awesome experience. I've enjoyed my time here for 7 years now. So.
And what have you learned? What is the one key message that you'll take with you when you're done?
It's not about the actual doing stuff. It's about the experiences that you have along the way. I've met so many awesome people. I've made so many great connections, and because of that, I've enjoyed my time here as a Girl Scout.
And do you think that every skill you've learned in Scouts, I mean, you're going to carry that throughout your life?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And you are a senior, right?
Yep.
And so at 18, what happens with Scouts?
I am no longer able to be a student, like a student scout, so I'm active. I'll be an adult leader. So as soon as I turn 18, I'll be able to join the troop as an adult leader, still be able to participate, but I won't be able to make rank. So I have to make Eagle before I turn 18.
And you're doing it.
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much for spending your morning with us. We'd like to say a big thank you to Volunteers of America, Michigan. Also, Drew Lang for letting us take part of his Eagle Scout project. And of course, to all of our veterans, past, present, and future. Thank you so much for your service. We'll see you next week at the Birmingham Palladium, 4th floor, 10 o'clock for Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. Until